two drivers traveling two different roads. A horrific crash late last season left Will Power hesitant for a return to the driver's seat.
I remember thinking as I slid to a stop, that's the end of my career.
Remarkably, Power won his first race back when he re-emerged this season, followed by 4 other victories, all on road course circuits.
He has dominated the road and street courses in the IZOD IndyCar Series this year,
taking what many would call an insurmountable points lead. However, the Australian's lack of experience on oval tracks has proven costly. He's given back 47 points in the past 3 races, allowing defending champion Dario Franchitti to close in.
Dario Franchitti has won for the 3rd time in 2010.
Dario Franchitti has traveled down this road before, and the Scotsman's experience could prove paramount.
Dario Franchitti's going to win the race and the championship!
Having been in this final race pressure cooker twice before,
Dario Franchitti is a champion in 2009.
winning the title in both attempts.
Great job, boys!
The final drive for the trophy is here. In order to capture his first title, Will Power must keep the 2-time champion Dario Franchitti behind him. 2 different roads cross today with the IZOD IndyCar Series Championship at stake. What began hundreds of miles away in Sao Paulo, Brazil, nearly 7 months ago, has come down to this place, and this time, the Café do Brasil Indy 300 from Homestead-Miami Speedway, the final race of the 2010 IZOD IndyCar Series. It'll be Power or Franchitti in the championship. 2 drivers who have long lived here in the Miami area are going to give the command from their cars. Let's see how that goes.
Cafés do Brasil Indy 300, we're putting a unique South Florida spin on the most famous words in racing. And to do it, we've got not 1, but 2 Grand Marshals for tonight's championship. They're both familiar faces here in Miami, even though those faces are hidden by helmets right now. One's a 3-time Indianapolis 500 champion, and the other is the 2004 IndyCar Series champion. And through the years, both have represented Homestead-Miami Speedway with class, integrity, and a heck of a lot of success on the track. So for tonight's command, let's take it to the starting grid, and 2 of IndyCar's best, racing it at their home track of Homestead-Miami Speedway, Helio Castro-Neves and Tony Kanaan.
Driver. Start our engine.
That's tough to coordinate. 2 drivers sitting in their cars, giving the command to get things underway tonight. But with their command, 27 engines fired alive, with each driver hoping for a race win, and 2 challenging this 1.5-mile oval for the championship for 2010. Dario Franchitti, in dramatic style yesterday, bumped his championship rival from the pole position and won his 2nd Peak Pole Award of 2010 with a 2-lap average of 213.1 miles an hour. His other pole came in the first race of the year in Brazil. It was worth $10,000, but more importantly, 1 bonus point that has allowed Dario to close the gap to just 11 points. And once again, the IZOD 2-seater is at the front of the field with Mario Andretti behind the wheel, and the winner of the ShopHonda.com sweepstakes, Laura, Chester, Pennsylvania, his passenger. And Laura, looks like you're underway. What are your thoughts?
So far, so good.
Are you just a little bit nervous?
Just a little.
Okay, well, the main thing is just enjoy the ride, because it's a thrill of a lifetime, I'm sure.
Thank you.
Okay, enjoy the ride. Andretti leading the field here tonight. Will take the quick lap and duck into the pit area before the green flag comes out for the field. Well, here is the starting lineup. Beside Dario Franchitti on the peak pole position will be his Target Chip Ganassi teammate, Scott Dixon. So it's an all Ganassi front row here tonight. Row number 2, all-team Penske, Will Power and Ryan Briscoe. Row number 3, three-time winner here, Dan Weldon and Justin Wilson, who has his best IZOD IndyCar career start on an oval.
And Weldon's been incredibly strong the last 3 races, and he's going to be up there mixing it at the end of this thing. And who's he going to help out? Could he help out Dario? Could he help out Will? We'll see.
Row number 4, Ed Carpenter, the pole sitter at Kentucky, and Tony Kanaan looking for his 5th straight top 10 finish. In the 5th row, Takuma Sato, who finished 12th after a hard practice crash at Motegi, and Elio Castroneves with his worst start of the year.
And you talk about helpers. Castroneves was 2nd in the warm-up last night. He knows he needs to go to the front and help out Power. Look for him to make moves early.
In row number 6 here tonight, Danica Patrick and E.J. Biso. And as you look at the rest of the starting lineup, there are 3 former winners here in the field at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Last year, you'll recall this race was run caution-free. The most cautions, 9, occurred in 2002. This is the 5th consecutive season the championship has been decided at this last event. Dario hoping to become only the 2nd driver to win 3 championships since the IZOD IndyCar Series began. The other, Sam Ortiz Jr. Once again, there are 5 women in the field tonight. One of them, Sarah Fisher, celebrates her 30th birthday on Monday. Our onboard camera is carried tonight by Ryan Hunter-Ray, who is 6th in points, highest of a non-Penske Ganassi driver. Elio Castroneves, who has won the last 2 races but has never won here. Tony Kanaan, whose little son Leo is watching his daddy race tonight. Dan Weldon, who is tied for 8th in the points with Marco Andretti coming into tonight's race. And will also be on board with the title contenders, Will Power, hoping for his first championship, 11 points ahead. Dario Franchitti, who has the number 1 starting spot, and teammate Scott Dixon as his wingman. Here's Jack in the IZOD Performance Pit Center.
Bob, let's talk about strategies for the chase for the championship. Let's start first with the leader, Will Power. What does he have to do? He has to keep this car, Dario Franchitti, in sight. But he can't be following him because Franchitti scored the pole. So he's going to have to rely on his teammates to help him out. Now, what about Franchitti? Franchitti, I think, is in the best shape. All he's got to do is exactly what he's been doing all year long. He has got his foot on the throat of Team Penske, choking the air out of their championship chase. We'll have to wait and see if they stop breathing.
All right, well, the field begins to form behind the pace car. This is what we've been waiting for all year long. We're sorry it's the final race, but we have come to the final event, and we'll see who is the champion for 2010. Target Chip Ganassi drivers on the front row, and Team Penske drivers in row number 2. Off of corner number 4 comes the field.
Green, green, green.
The Apex Brazil green flag out for the final time this year, and we're racing at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
And Dixon quickly just tucks in behind his teammate, a little bit of cushion there to the Penske cars sitting in the 3rd and 4th spot.
He predicted they would run side by side. I don't know if he was joking, but they were side by side for a few moments. And Kanaan way on the high side.
Wow, TK way up on the high side.
Look at the spark show. Can you imagine if you're back, say, 5th, 6th in that field there and all that's happening in front of you?
The reason you have so many sparks, it takes a couple laps for the tire pressures to come up. It raises the car, and they're full of fuel. Look at all those.
And Brian Barnhart warned the drivers in the drivers' meeting that there would be a lot of sparking in the first few laps until the tire pressures come up.
Tony Kanaan back there in the green and white car, absolutely looking racing, just saying, hey, I want to get up there. I got some momentum.
And you'll see more sparks generally the higher you go on the racetrack. There's more bumps higher up. So far, Team Target exactly according to plan how they want it to go.
On board with Will Powers, you see the sparks coming back into his face. Will's running in 3rd position, but it's Franchitti leading and Scott Dixon running in 2nd spot as Kanaan challenges Ryan Briscoe. This is for 4th place. They run side by side all the way through the corners.
And still sparking, just looking back there at Briscoe's cars, you can still those little titanium blocks just setting off those sparks.
And fellas, we've already begun to see the strategy for Will Power. Roger Penske just told Ryan Briscoe to go to the front. And then he reminded him, hey, pal, next year it'll be your turn. Let's see if he can do it and help Will Power.
Boy, some good close racing here in the early laps. Kanaan settles back into 4th position. Behind Kanaan, it's Briscoe, then Weldon. Holden, then Marco Andretti, Ed Carpenter. Marco started 16th and has already worked his way up to 7th.
So how do you think you respond when you got Roger Penske on your headset and he says, go to the front? You know, you're out there driving as hard as you can, and you got the captain saying, get up there to the front.
He's trying. He's giving it everything.